Hey everyone, I'm Matt. Welcome to my shop and welcome to my Samurai. Now, I have a series of videos on this thing, and when I rescued it and got the old Isuzu diesel running, and I've taken it on several trips, and I actually drive this thing fairly frequently, at least a few times a week. But I've been neglecting it the last couple of years. Haven't done a whole lot to it. And I actually have a trip coming up here in just a few days, and it's a Samurai only trip. A bunch of my buddies with Samurais, we're going to be doing a kind of overland camping exploration trip in southern Oregon and northern Nevada. And it's going to be quite a few days up in the desert, high temperatures, stuff like that. So I wanted to go through the Samurai, make sure it was ready to go, and address any issues that it might have. I've actually already jumped into this thing a little bit. I went through and checked all the fluid levels in the front and the rear axle, the transfer case, and the transmission. Everything actually looked really good, except the rear axle. For some reason, the little bit of oil that drained out looked brown, didn't smell like gear oil, and looked, I don't know, very lightweight. So I don't know what's in the rear of this. I've actually never checked it before, but I don't think it's gear oil. So we're going to change the gear oil in the rear diff. Up front here, you'll see I've got a new fan, and that's because the old fan was seized. Now, I did take it out of here and spun it by hand. It was very difficult to turn, but once it got turning, there was no continuity between the conductors anymore, so something happened inside the motor. I'm not sure what. The other two fans are still running just fine. So anyway, bought a new fan. I've got to crimp this Delphi connector on the end of the new one and just plug it into the harness and test it all. So we'll be doing that first. Next up is the breather on this Isuzu diesel is designed to just point straight down. Now, that's great, except it causes a massive, oh, squirrel. Get out of here, you turkey. Anyway, back to the breather. So the breather on this is designed to just go down. It causes a massive oily mess underneath the Samurai over many miles. And so initially, I plumbed it into the outside of this air box. That worked great, except the oil kind of saturated the paper element right there, and I realized that's probably not a good thing for airflow or the longevity of the element filter. So I ran it back underneath there, and for the last year I've just been dealing with the oily mess underneath there. But what I decided to do is weld an aluminum bung inside the intake tube here and plumb it into that. So we'll knock that out next. And then last of all, I didn't do this wiring. This was on the Samurai when I got it, but there's a fuse panel right there, one of those aftermarket Cole Hershey ones. And the fuses, like the actual conductors in there, I don't know if it got wet or something like that, but there's corrosion in there. And any of the things that pull more than about 10 or 15 amps, which might include these power sockets and stuff here, the fuses actually melt and before they blow. And it's just because of the high resistance connections in there. So I've got a new fuse panel right here, a good name brand one, not one of the cheap Chinese ones. So we're going to swap that in there, and we're going to get rid of some of this weird coily wiring stuff that's in here that I did not do. All right, enough talk. Let's get to work. There we go. I don't know, I guess it smells kind of like gear oil. It's just brown. Just shouldn't look that way. Oh, all right. Yeah, now we got some fresh gear oil back here. Got rid of our dirty mystery fluid. I actually think it was gear oil. I think it was just in rough shape. Hopefully, didn't look like it had any metal in it, but my rear end's not making funny noises, so I don't know what the deal was. I think think we'll check it again after this trip and see if it's all dirty again, and if it is, I might have to pull the third member out of this thing and see what's going on. Alright, I've got my old fan here, my new fan here. I have a well-used set of Delphi connectors here, along with the conductors, pins, and little rubber gaskets and the connectors themselves. I'm going to be using this Hozan, I don't remember what the tool number is, maybe it says in here, P-707. I really like this tool. It's a genuine Japanese one, and you know, it's definitely the best for doing these kind of you know, pin style crimps. I also just bought this iCrimp, what is it, HS30J. I'll put the descriptions for both of these crimpers in the video description just in case you guys want to buy them. This is only like a $20 tool, and it's got a bunch of interchangeable dies right here, and I think this one would work just fine. I'm actually going to take it with me on some of the trips that I'm on where I might have to do electrical repairs, but at least for this crimping job, we're going to be using this one. So, all right, old fan. See the blue is going in on the right side of the connector here. So we're going to match that so our polarity is the same. I also just want to make sure the blades are pointing the same way on the fan, because I'm using these as pushers, and they're not. So I'm going to need to turn this fan over right here. We'll do that after we crimp the connector on the end. All right, let's start by cutting these things off. Okay, the conductor crimp looks good. Such a satisfying click when these things lock in like they're supposed to. All right, both of these look good. This thing is ready to go. Swap this fan over. Go. All right, let's test this thing out. Okay, perfect. Fans are all working. We'll put the grill back on and move on to the next one. Right about there. There it goes. Perfect. Nobody judge my aluminum TIG welds on dirty Chinese aluminum, please. Or do, I don't really care, I guess. Okay. That looks good. Like the angle and the location. I think it'll work all right for me. All right, let's weld this thing up. Well, it doesn't look too bad. I won't say it's the greatest looking weld ever, but in case you guys are wondering, I was doing some pie-shaped cuts on this when I first built it. That's why there's some weird welds here. But anyway, this thing's done. If you look down inside there, I'm not sure how well it shows up, but there's little metal shavings. There's kind of an oily sheen all over the inside of this, so need to make sure to get those out so we don't suck those into the engine. These little aluminum shavings will get stuck on a valve seat and end up causing big problems. So we'll let this thing cool down, clean it out, and we can put it back into Samurai. Well, we've got this intake tube off of here. Let's take the time to put new air filter in this thing. This thing definitely sees some nasty conditions. Yeah, this thing's rough. All right. These Samurai air cleaners are actually pretty decent sized for the size of the engine. I mean, they've got a lot of filter media, so they'll actually tolerate being a little bit dirty, and they'll tolerate some performance increases. Well, I didn't show it on camera because I can't even see it. Why should you be any different? Basically, I've got a tube that goes down a couple of elbows and comes up into this newly welded bung up here. I don't think I should have any oil buildup issues. Some will probably end up in that tube down there, but really it doesn't blow that much oil by. So there's an oil separator here, so it's mostly just gases. And if any oil does end up in there, I think just over time it'll tend to migrate its way in through the turbo. So at any rate, so now we've got our breather plumbed into our intake tube, and we're ready to test fire this thing, make sure she runs good. Well, just so we're clear, I didn't do any of this. I'm inheriting this from a previous owner. I actually had problems with this particular thing. This sends switched, or this sends power to the entire instrument cluster. However, they've got it wired up, and this thing, see all the white corrosion on there? I've had the Samurai die, and I had to jiggle that thing in order to get power back. So we're gonna clean this up a little bit. Really only need this much wire. I don't need all this loop extra wire here. This one right here, this yellow wire, I had a fuse melt and it ruined the end on there, so in order to get back home, I just bypassed the fuse, so my entire center console is now unfused. Part of the problem is this is only a 16 gauge wire right here, and I've got some things that draw, you know, 20 amps in my power sockets, plus the stereo and my USB chargers and stuff, so we need to upgrade this wire. This is copper clad aluminum too. Kind of junk wire. So we will switch it to something good. Some actual copper wire. See that they used square drive sheet metal screws here. Very handy. I like it best up there because I'm not so worried about the self-tapping screws I was using hitting the brake line or the fuel filter. Been getting frustrated recently because I buy this wire from Amazon that's advertised as oxygen-free copper, and it always ends up being copper-clad aluminum. Then I got to decide if I want to return it or not. Alright, I like that. Looks good. Now we just need to do one from over here to power up the center console. Alright, I've got everything cleaned up, hooked up, zip tied out of the way. The ugly bundle of wires that was hanging down here is mostly taken care of. And I've plugged in the biggest load that I expect to use on here, and that's this 12-volt lunchbox thing. I've had it plugged in for about 10 minutes. I don't feel any hot wires back here, so that's good. This is a little bit warm, but I think this thing pulls about 15 amps or so. Oh yeah, and that's super hot. Okay, well, let's see, we're mission accomplished. All right, well, I took the Samurai on a test drive last night. It was dark, so I didn't turn the camera on, but everything worked just fine, so I think it's all ready to go. Got all my camping gear loaded up. Front seat's actually pretty empty, which is nice for a 6-day long trip. I've managed to condense my camping gear pretty good. Just taking most of my motorcycle stuff. Back's kind of full, but you'll notice a slide hammer in here. That's not normal for a camping trip, but Eric's, one of his Samurais, the rear axle shaft is, he needs to change it out, and he has so far been unable to get it out using traditional hackery methods, so I'm gonna bring the slide hammer and hopefully we can get that thing knocked out tonight. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna bring my cameras along, and when I get back from the trip, I'll take you guys along and show you how it went. But yeah, it looks like I've got, I don't know how far, 1,500 miles, something like that, ahead of me of high desert driving in northern Nevada. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for following along, and we'll catch you on the next one.